Cynthia Gauthier returns to Anaheim, where she claimed her first ever freestyle win 1 year ago. Is this the track and city that will award her an overall event championship? Morgan Kane is coming off back-to-back event wins, but can he make it 3 in a row for Team Gravedigger? Or is this the week that Ryan Anderson and Neil Elliott can finally shake off mechanical issues that have been plaguing them both this season? 14 of the best drivers are here as the battle for the event championship begins now. Welcome to beautiful Orange County, California. We're about 45 minutes southeast of Hollywood in Anaheim, and it's here that the stars of Monster Jam have assembled for Stadium Championship Series Green. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Zombies Bari Musauer, Casey Gagliardi, and Ali Krings on the ground, and we're about to begin our freestyle competition, and it's already been a night filled with non-stop action. Our drivers have already battled it out in Monster Energy Racing and the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and we'll recap both of those events for you here shortly. But first, Bari, the drivers here tonight are quite impressive, especially as we embark on freestyle. Who do you like in the event tonight in Anaheim?
Oh man, there's so many heavy hitters. You can't count out Jimmy Cretin. Of course, he's a former world freestyle champion, as well as, of course, Ryan Anderson, Morgan Kane and Gravedigger, gosh, and Matt Pagliarulo, man, he's a wild card.
Let's take a look at some of the action you missed earlier as we recap Monster Energy Racing. It was quite the event for our fans in attendance as Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger dominated the track and competition. In round one, Ryan went head-to-head with Heavy D and Brodozer, crossing the finish line and setting the fastest time of the round. Then in round two, he would face off against Don Cretin and Scarlet Bandit, and this was only the second time these two drivers have ever faced off against one another in their storied careers. Don took that first matchup, but this time around, it was Son of a Digger who would advance to the semifinals. And in the semifinal round, Ryan would take on Neil Elliott, of course, driving Max D, and Ryan kept his foot to the floor and the victory. Two veterans in the sport, and Ryan Anderson dominated this matchup, heading to the Monster Energy Racing Finals. And in the finals, it wouldn't be any easier as he squared off against his childhood best friend, Morgan Kane in Gravedigger, and nothing would be easy for Ryan Anderson in this round. The battle was hard fought and a crowd pleaser, but at the end of the racing competition, it was Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger getting his third racing win of 2020. And a spectacular save there for Gravedigger, but it didn't matter. The first 14 points of the night, Bari, went to Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger.
Yeah, that's got to feel good for Ryan to be able to get that racing win. He's kind of struggled this season, so that'll give him momentum to hopefully put together a great night.
Our Casey Gagliardi caught up with Ryan Anderson after his big racing win.
Ryan, when you were lined up at that start line for the final race, you knew you were going head-to-head with Morgan Kane and Gravedigger, who's only had one loss when it comes to racing this year. You must have known that you had to bring the heat in this race.
Without a doubt, that was a lot of points that we needed for the points chase, but I can tell you one thing, when I lined up against my best buddy in that Gravedigger truck, I knew every Digger fan in this place was on their feet having a good time at Monster Jam, and that's my main objective.
The Great Clip Skills Challenge was also earlier tonight, and that too turned out to be quite the competition, as each driver had the option to attempt two-wheel skill maneuvers or a donut. Our top six brought their A-game to the competition as another 14 points were on the line towards tonight's overall event championship. Let's take a look at some of those highlights right here in this star-studded event in Anaheim, California. We start, Bari, with Cynthia Gauthier in Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
Yeah, that's a great sky wheelie on the step-up jump. It's great to get the crowd going there.
Bicycles were a popular move tonight, performed by 3 of our top 5 with crazy saves. Morgan Kane with another one off the ramp. Heavy D and Brodozer went at it again, and the sidewall save for Brodozer.
Textbook right there.
And Megalodon tried to come for Max D's nose wheelie to moonwalk crowd. Corey Rummel getting it done. The precision and skill for this incredible athlete.
That's some fast shifting of this transmission right there.
Another competitor whose bicycle had a wow factor finish was Son of a Digger. Ryan Anderson makes this look so easy. Let's take a look now at the original super glue glued to the action replay. Bari, talk us through this move.
It's just amazing that he's got the presence of mind to still stay in the throttle so close to the wall protection there to bring Son of a Digger back on all 4 tires.
Even with that save, it was not enough as Neil Elliott and Max D continued his domination this season in the Great Clip Skills Challenge with this nose wheelie into a moonwalk. It's his 3rd Skills Challenge win for Neil in 4 events, one of the best in the business at this competition.
For sure. He made it look so easy, and that move is one of the toughest things you can do in a Monster Jam truck.
With the win comes the 14 points toward tonight's overall event championship. Ryan Anderson's bicycle was rewarded by the fans with a 2nd place finish and the 13 points that comes with it. But Bari, if a move like that can't beat Neil Elliott, do you think anything can?
I don't know, man, but the good thing is the fans voted on judgeszone.com. They gave Neil that win. He earned it. He deserved it. But Ryan's still there in 2nd place.
After the dominant victory, our Casey Gagliardi caught up with Max D driver Neil Elliott.
Neil, you saw some other drivers come out here and do a nose wheelie. You said, I'm going to do it longer. You saw Megalodon do that popper. You said, I'm going to hold that popper longer. You know how to get these fans to give you those 10s.
Man, I don't know. I'm doing something right, that's for sure. I've kind of got that popper to moonwalk thing figured out, but Ryan and that sidewall to sidewall donut save thing, man, he's got it mastered. I've watched him do it week after week, but I keep coming up with the wins, so thank you, Monster Jam fans, for the high scores and the points.
And the fans are loving them some Neil Elliott for sure. So after these 2 competitions, here's how the quest for the overall event championship looks. Only 1 point separating Ryan Anderson and Neil Elliott, and watch out because Corey Rummel and Morgan Kane are both only 4 points off the lead, and we're moments away from the beginning of freestyle. Anything can happen, Bari, as we've seen already this year.
That's why it's so great to be here and live it live inside Monster Jam, to feel the tension, to feel that atmosphere build as we approach freestyle, to develop who is going to be our overall events champion.
While our top 4 have performed really well, that was clearly not the case for Team Tomfoolery, as Jester and Kraken both suffered damage. Let's check in with Casey in the UNOH Pit Report.
After our first 2 competitions of the night, both the Jester Monster Jam truck and the Kraken Monster Jam truck are in the back. The Jester truck has 2 broken axles. The Kraken truck has 1 broken axle. If anything's gonna break inside there, they'd rather it be the axle because it's about a 10-minute fix. If it's an inner axle, that'll take about 15 minutes. So like I said, they'd rather an axle break than something inside of the planetary because that's gonna be a much more involved fix. So we can hope to see the Jester and Kraken Monster Jam truck back out on the track for the freestyle competition.
Thank you, Casey, for that update. It's time for BKT Freestyle. And let's take a look at how the event is scored. Each of our drivers will attempt a freestyle run filled with big air and non-stop action, and a course flow like this expert run by Black Pearl. You add momentum into that, which is very important, such as this perfect slap wheelie by 2-time World Finals champion Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter. And then those all-important wow moments, that's what the fans are looking for, like this dynamic save from Lucas Oil Crusader. When you add it all up, it's all drivers pushing their Monster Jam truck to its limits. Now, each driver is awarded a score by you, the audience, so fans in attendance at our Monster Jam events provide each driver a score immediately following their run. Fans are going to judge our drivers based on the use of all obstacles on the track, also creativity and technical moves like this incredible bicycle into a stoppie by Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, combinations like Bakugan Dragonoid with this backflip into a moonwalk, and the ever-important wow factor all add up to a great score. However, to qualify for that score, drivers must complete the first 30 seconds of the run. Bari, it's a new rule, and it has changed the game of Monster Jam Freestyle.
Yeah, it's so crucial that you get in that first 30 seconds to give the fans a fair shot at judging each one of those criteria that you just mentioned.
We start things off tonight with Kevin Crocker, part of the El Toro Loco team, the Crazy Bull. Kevin Crocker, of course, an accomplished off-road racer driven in the Baja 1000, but this El Toro Loco team is known worldwide, Bari, and they can beat you on any given night.
Yeah, that's true, and he's kind of off to a slow start, though. The truck was not shut off for whatever reason. The light in the windshield was not blinking, so that lets me know that, he still had all his power. He's back rolling now, though, so let's see what he's got.
Kevin Crocker learned from one of the best in Monster Jam, that of course being two-time World Finals Freestyle champion Jim Kohler as a part of Team Scream Racing. What are your experience with Kevin and Team Scream? We know that pedigree runs strong with every member of that team as well.
Yeah, Jim Kohler, anytime you talk about him, Mr. Excitement, and his team, you have to remember that there's a big shoes to fill there when you're talking about Jim Kohler and Team Scream. Kevin Crocker's up to the challenge, though. I mean, he's earned the right to put the El Toro Loco body on the truck. He's rolling now, though. I know he wants to set the bar really high to give these fans a great start to freestyle here in Anaheim.
Some old school Monster Jam fans might remember Kevin Crocker driving backwards Bob. He also drove Monster Mutt, but now he's got that crazy bull colors. He represents this incredible nation. You know it from Zombie Nation. When you look at these fans in the audience, there's a lot of El Toro Loco shirts and hats. This truck immensely popular, and that's a lot of pressure to have behind the wheel of El Toro Loco.
Yeah, I know it all too well. I actually did my rookie season in El Toro Loco, so I know the truck's fan base is huge. That was a great jump there for Kevin. Let's see if he can keep that momentum rolling. He's definitely into the 30 seconds, so he's going to get a score. Ooh, cool slap wheelie. But he was really close to the wall protection, so he had to kind of back her down a little bit.
I've talked to Kevin Crocker a lot. He's not a guy that you're going to see a lot of wow moments in his freestyle runs, but he prides himself on filling the clock and getting that entire 2-minute clock. That's what he strives for every single week. He's not going to hit a lot of huge jumps and do a lot of crazy tricks, but he will hit the ramps, he will crush the cars, and he will get the fans excited. And let's face it, Barry, with the way that things are now in Monster Jam, a lot of drivers aren't hitting the 30 seconds. So if you can come out and hit 2 minutes, that says a lot.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's a long time out there in a Monster Jam truck. You want to put your best foot forward. Kevin did a great job. I think we got a lot more action to come after this.
So Kevin Crocker, El Toro Loco, getting the fans a little preview of what to see tonight in freestyle. And now, Heavy D and Bro Dozer, the 2019 Monster Jam Co-Rookie of the Year, right off the bat with some major air for Bro Dozer.
Yeah, and you can hear the fans buzzing. I mean, he just captured them right there at that moment. So right now, he's got them, you know, full attention on Bro Dozer. Let's see if he can carry that into a great freestyle.
Heavy D stormed onto the scene in Nashville just a year ago. We celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the debut of Bro Dozer, clipping the back there. Not going to stop Heavy D. This is the first diesel power truck in Monster Jam, and he puts on a show. He is a guy that has literally gotten better every single time out.
Yeah, one thing I noticed with the Bro Dozer truck is it sounds so much different from the regular standard modern Monster Jam truck in the fact that it's got those turbos that whistle, and I feel like the crowd reacts to that sound. It's unique to that truck. It's the only one that sounds like that, and it's a really unique truck, and the way he pilots it, man, he does a great job.
Now, he takes a lot of risks behind the wheel of Bro Dozer. He will come out and get that one hit in that 30 seconds. Whether he makes it or not, he doesn't care. He just wants to give the fans something to go home with, a great memory. As we see Heavy D now across the pad, going to turn it back around. The black diesel smoke coming out of Bro Dozer. He is finding his gear. Here comes Heavy D now heading to the center of the track, looking for something spectacular, Barry. I love it when Bro Dozer sets up, man. Heavy D has his sights set right now. Here comes a big jump. Doesn't get the air, though. That was a huge setup, man. I think he's probably got to be kicking himself right now.
Yeah, here we go, though. Oh, he almost got that rotation on the 8-pack backflip. Didn't quite land it, though.
He didn't get the momentum from that prior jump.
Oh,
I think that's what he
here.
was looking for, but there's a save. So Bro Dozer ends up back on all 4 BKT tires, and the crowd letting him hear it. There is your score. There is your new leader, Heavy D, and Bro Dozer now leads BKT Freestyle.
Wow, that's a huge score, and I don't think he filled the clock, but you know what? The fact that the truck ended up on all 4 tires at the end definitely gave his score a boost, I believe.
We go from Bro Dozer now to Megalodon. Corey Rummel out of North Jackson, Ohio, another guy from Team Scream Racing, but now with Team Megalodon, which is just another superpower Monster Jam truck that has taken these fans by storm.
Yeah, and the fact that Corey is behind the wheel of this truck, it's a perfect match. Huge air right there off the bat. And Corey loves the freestyle, and he's not afraid to hit anything on the track.
In his 6th year in Monster Jam, won the Showdown in 2018 at Sam Boyd Stadium. 2019 Extreme Air Award winner. He is just stuck in the air, and look at that. What an incredible wheelie up the ramp, and he is staying right there on those back 2 tires.
Oh, get it? There. Okay, man. He was teetering right there on the edge of disaster, but he got it down. Now he's got the fans in the palm of his hand. If he can just build off that momentum, the adrenaline has got to be pumping by now. You're happy with yourself after you can pull off a save like that.
We started calling him Mr. Extreme Air this year because of his love for getting those big sky wheelies. And there's some sky for Megalodon across the pad, and another great save from Megalodon, putting on a show.
Yeah, Corey throws caution to the wind. He didn't care what was in his way after he hit that jump. He just knew he was going to have to deal with it the best way he knows how. Oh!
And can he do it again? Here comes another save. He's back up on the 2 wheels, and that is going to do it. But, man, what an effort there for Corey Rummel, and that is not going to be enough to take the lead away from Heavy D and Brodozer, but what a spectacular run.
That was great. And Diesel Dave is going to have to top that. So we're in for a treat now. Freestyle is off and running here in Anaheim.
Diesel Dave, the other half of the Diesel Brothers from the Discovery Channel show. Not as much seat time as his partner, his brother Heavy D, but it doesn't matter. He's another guy that throws that caution to the wind, likes hitting that 8-pack. And when I talk to him about freestyle, he loves watching Heavy D go out before him because he knows what he needs to do. And these guys try to top each other every single night.
Yeah, their rivalry is unmatched, and it's pretty cool to see them go back and forth. And Diesel Dave definitely has potential in the fact that he carries good momentum. He's still brand new in the truck. So, you know, you give this guy a season or 2, and, man, he's going to be a polished, top-of-the-line Monster Jam athlete.
This is the debut season for Bro Camino. Diesel Dave, of course, was on the team with Brodozer, coming each and every week to help Heavy D out, be in his ear, be on his crew. Had a couple events last year behind El Toro Loco. Now he's got his own Monster Jam truck. The track looks like it's keeping up very nicely through 2 events. Talk about the track conditions here in Anaheim.
You know, my hat off to the Dirt Crew. The Dirt Crew did an amazing job at preparing this track. I think it's perfect conditions for a good night of Monster Jam. And I can't wait to see what more action we can come. Oh, no.
Bro Camino now gets a little wobbly, trying to make the save. Bro Camino almost had it. But Diesel Dave with a phenomenal freestyle run, and the stars are aligning tonight as we take a look at the original Superglue glued to the action replay. How close was he to making that save?
Man, if he could have pulled that off, that would have been epic.
Not every freestyle run wows the fans. Some leave them wanting a bit more. Tonight, Wolf's Head was one of those trucks that didn't quite live up to fans' expectations.
Yeah, but it's all right. Kristen Hope is young behind the wheel of the truck. She's got a bright future ahead of her.
A few others failed to make an impact with the crowd. Here's Richie Yatsko, and Exterminator had some problems with that right front wheel. We'll see it lock up right here.
Oh, big time damage there. Broken 4-link bars.
But we are now halfway through freestyle, and here's how the BKT Top 5 leaderboard is shaping up. Heavy D remains our leader, and he loves to go out hard. He's always unpredictable. That unpredictability has Brodozer in first place in freestyle, but will it be enough? We're going to find out here soon enough. And Barry, as we remind everyone, the freestyle winner receives 14 points towards tonight's overall event score. And after 2 events, only 1 point separating Son of a Digger and Max D, with Corey Rummel and Morgan Kane only 4 points off the lead with 3 yet to compete.
Yeah, Heavy D could play spoiler here. I mean, he's got a high score leading freestyle right now, so anything can happen.
Earlier tonight, Casey updated us on the axle damage suffered by father and son, Matt and Nick Pagliarulo. And I'm happy to say their teams got both trucks prepared and ready for some freestyle action as we take a look at Matt Pagliarulo in Jester. And 2020 started off with a bang for Jester. He won his first ever stadium freestyle competition and his first ever stadium event championship.
Yeah, that was a great night for them in Tampa. I know they were ecstatic to get that win. You know, Matt is actually, he was a fan. He still is a fan. And I actually got to meet them and his entire family at a charity bowling event there in Central Florida in Orlando before they even created the Jester team. So we go back a little ways. It's good to see them out here rocking it in front of all these fans.
You know, there's another guy I know from Central Florida that was a fan of Monster Jam that also happens to be a Monster Jam truck. So you guys have very parallel stories.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, I think well, he tagged that wall protection. Let's see if he can refire again. It looks like the track crew shut him off. Oh,
Too much air, gets a little bit out of control, ends up in those containers. But now we move on to Nick Pagliarulo, who along with Brodozer's Heavy D was the 2019 Monster Jam Co-Rookie of the Year, and he has made so many strides between 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, Nick has got so much talent, and he's still so new behind the wheel. It's going to be incredible what he's going to be able to accomplish during his career. He's already shown amazing potential. Let's check out this freestyle here in Anaheim tonight.
Nick Pagliarulo was the crew chief for his dad's team Jester for quite a long time before they built Kraken from the ground up as a part of Team Tomfoolery Motorsports in Deltona, Florida, and he has just come into his own. He has those wow moments, those spectacular jumps. He has made so many leaps and bounds, not only in freestyle, but also the Great Clips Two-Wheel Skills Challenge. He's become a lot more technical on the track, Bari.
Absolutely, and the cool thing about Kraken is Nick actually came up with this concept on his own. It's got an amazing, unique 3D body with the squid on the back attacking that body. It really looks cool.
He landed his first ever backflip earlier this year on that incredible backflip inside the Stadium Championship Screen Series. The excitement from his dad was just elated. I think he was actually happier for Nick than he was when he won the event championship. But I talked about the technical aspect. He's one of the only drivers in this series as he gets some major air there in Kraken. One of the only drivers in this series that throws technical moves into his freestyle run.
Yeah, that speaks volumes. If you're able to finesse a truck into a technical move in the midst of all this adrenaline pumping action like huge air jumps, that just goes to show you're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So the mechanical issues have added up tonight for Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. The body's starting to fall apart as well, trying to keep it together to fill the remainder of this clock. Great crowd tonight. There's a technical move right there. I talked about it, a stoppie into a moonwalk for Kraken.
And he didn't force that. The truck actually gave that move to him. All he had to do was really kind of hit the brakes. He was coming up on the wall protection, so a beautiful move to be able to transition right back into freestyle. Oh, I can see he's got a broken front sway bar, though. That might cut his run a little short. Let's see if the officials let him go.
And that's the one thing he is able to work on this season was his reaction time, and that he gets another one right there, a stoppie on the front left tire. But I think, as you said, that is going to come to an end with that broken sway bar. But not a bad run for Nick considering the problems he had.
Solid performance. I think he'll be good with that.
Team Pagliarulo has to be glad to have made it back as we take a look at the BKT Top 5 leaderboard. Both Nick and Matt have climbed into the top 5, but it's Heavy D and Brodozer who stays on top. Only 5 more drivers to go before we crown our freestyle and event champion. Can Ryan Anderson hold on to his lead? Will Neil Elliott and Morgan Kane have enough in the tank to wow the crowd? Welcome inside the Monster Jam World Headquarters. I'm Scott Jordan with a Monster Jam news update. Earlier this summer, Monster Jam's Bryce Kenny was invited to speak to the class of 2020 as they graduated from the University of Northwestern Ohio. Now, before digitally addressing over 1,000 graduates from UNOH, Bryce made sure his mohawk was sharp thanks to the amazing stylist at Great Clips who kept him safe while making him look refreshed. Upon returning to his home's makeshift studio, he attended the virtual graduation ceremony, providing the commencement address. Bryce stressed to the new graduates that whatever they do next, to do it with passion, conviction, and the effort that got them to where they were on this momentous day.
Get this, it's like a fingerprint on this earth. That personality, your passions, and now your skill set and that toolkit that you have to go into the world is so unique. Nobody on this planet Earth, out of 7 billion people on Earth, nobody has that exact same combination as you do. So go out with confidence, knowing that you're here for a reason and that you can make a difference in this world.
Also this summer, Monster Jam was breaking world records. 7 drivers attempted to set or break 8 different Guinness World Records. One of those drivers, son of a digger's Ryan Anderson. Now Ryan, as we saw earlier in this episode in Anaheim, has nearly perfected the bicycle, and he wanted to get his name etched into the record books as one of the best at it.
Accomplishing this stunt will be a huge stamp in my career. There's no doubt that I was kind of one of the innovators of the bicycle, so for me to be able to get the world record bicycle for distance, it's gonna be awesome. Honestly, I'm gonna be able to say, that's my trick.
Good test, right lane, son of a digger. Okay, here we go. Heading that way.
Getting a monster truck upright onto a two-wheel position is no easy task. Ryan's 12,000-pound unaltered competition-ready son of a digger truck will put up a fight down the dirt track. To set the Guinness World Record, Ryan needs to take his truck past the 26-meter mark.
Ease on it, ease on it. All good.
I'm not gonna lie, breaking a world record with a 12,000-pound Monster Jam truck has got to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I had to stay calm. My movement of the wheel had to be minimal. The throttle pedal had to stay dead on. It was so many things that's not normal for me that I had to do to make this crazy thing balance on two wheels, but it felt great. To you, this little flag may not look like much, but to me, this flag marks a big piece of history in my career. This was the marking flag for my world record bicycle, 891 feet, 0.8.
Everyone in Monster Jam is extremely proud of Ryan Anderson for setting his Guinness World Record for the farthest bicycle in a Monster Jam truck, traveling over 891 feet. Well, that's your Monster Jam update for this week. We now head back out to Anaheim, California for the second half of the Stadium Championship Series Green event from earlier this year. Welcome back to the second half of Monster Jam here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. I'm Scott Jordan alongside the leader of Zombie Nation, Bari Musauer. And moments ago, Morgan Kane drove Gravedigger into the pit. So to get a status update on the truck's condition, let's toss it over to Casey for the UNOH pit report.
Don't worry, nothing major. They just took it to the pits to adjust some settings when it came to the shocks. It's pretty common to want to adjust a few things when you move from racing to the skills challenge into the freestyle competition. So no major fix there. You can plan to see the Gravedigger truck back in the competition for freestyle.
So great news for Team Gravedigger. Bari, you've raced in Anaheim. What adjustments does Morgan have to make?
You just want to make sure your shocks are operating at 100%. You want to be able to put your truck through its paces, and in order to do that, you have to make sure your shocks are in tip-top shape.
Now we get back to freestyle with two-time World Finals champion Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter, the 2019 World Finals racing champion and the freestyle champion all the way back in 2005. Bari, you have lined up in the finals at World Finals against Jimmy Cretin when he won the championship. Talk about lining up against a veteran like Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, that was one race I wish I could have back. We just had a staging malfunction where my truck rolled out of the staging beam, but I knew I had to be on the top of my game to compete against a veteran, top-of-the-line driver like Jimmy Cretin, as he's doing a great slap wheelie there. Kudos off. My hat goes off to Jimmy Cretin, though. He's one of the few drivers that has been able to achieve a championship in freestyle and racing, so I definitely want a rematch, though.
And we know how much that moment meant to him in Orlando to finally get that monkey off his back and win racing. That is what he designed this version of Bounty Hunter to do, to win races. We know he is a World Finals freestyle champion, so we know he's able to do the things that a lot of these drivers can't do, is he gets some nice hair in Bounty Hunter, but that is specifically what this low center of gravity truck was designed for, and he was finally able to climb to the top of the racing mountain.
Yes, and as you can see, this truck looks completely different from any other Monster Jam truck out here on the circuit. He's got the shocks positioned differently. He's got that low center of gravity, which, will help him in the corners. So it's definitely a very innovative way to approach the track with this brand new truck like this.
Bounty Hunter getting around the containers just by an inch on those tires, now lining it back up for some more air. He's had some good jumps here so far in his freestyle run. Not a guy that takes a whole lot of backflip attempts. He would do it if he feels like it, but right now he's going for it. Here we go, the backflip for Jimmy Cretin, and he can't quite land it. Overextended, gets on the back tire, and not a successful backflip, but a great run for Jimmy Cretin and Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, third place currently. I think he's going to be good with that.
As we near the end of freestyle, we take a look at the BKT Top 5 leaderboard. Rodozer, the only truck to hit the 9-point mark, but with some seasoned veterans about to take the track, Bari, my guess is he will not be alone at the end of the night. Monster Jam trucks are driven to their limits every event from racing to freestyle. One component of Monster Jam's continued growth and success are the 4 BKT tires they're rolling on. They help our trucks do what they do and keep going no matter what our Monster Jam drivers throw at them. Monster Jam and BKT growing together. Back in Angel Stadium, where 4 trucks still have yet to perform their freestyle run, and the quest for tonight's overall event championship could go to either of them with a strong finish here in freestyle. Monster Mutt Dalmatian being driven onto the track by World Finals champion Cynthia Gauthier, and it was last year, Bari, if you remember, here at Angel Stadium, Cynthia won freestyle Monster Mutt Dalmatian ice, her first ever stadium freestyle win. So the question is she capable of repeating here tonight?
Absolutely, Scott. I mean, Cynthia is one of the most passionate people I know behind the wheel of a Monster Jam truck. She loves to do good. She really wants to win every time out.
Cynthia Gauthier put her name in the record books at World Finals last year, becoming the first ever World Finals high jump champion. And then she added on to her legacy at the All-Star Challenge as well with that viral moment, that one jump move that put her at the top of the leaderboard briefly. Everybody talked about that, but she is not afraid to take those risks. She's not afraid to make those jumps. She's not afraid to take that one move that might either win her the competition or lose her the competition.
Yeah, Cynthia has proven that that one wow factor can give you a humongous score. So she's got a little bit of pressure here. The fans here in Anaheim know their Monster Jam, and they know that she won last year. So she's got a little pressure to back that up, but she's up for the challenge.
Monster Mutt Dalmatian now across the track. Some good jumps so far. Building momentum right now is what Cynthia Gauthier is trying to do. Whips Monster Mutt Dalmatian back around. She's heading back to that same pad again. Ooh. There's a sky wheelie. There's that high jump skill from Cynthia Gauthier. That throttle push at the right moment gets her that big elevated jump.
Yes, and she even tapped the brakes to try and bring the front end of that truck back down, and it just worked out. She was able to combo it up, and now she's back down the other side of the track. She's got a lot of momentum she's carrying through this run, though, so it looks good so far.
And she's not hitting the brakes, going around that turn, coming it back around. Monster Mutt Dalmatian now just flying over these obstacles, gets across the ramp as well. Now she has to back it up. Ran out of room. That happens, so now when you lose that momentum, you got to get it back quick as you start running out of time. Clearing the crush cars goes Monster Mutt Dalmatian.
And as I look closely, I can tell that the rear steer is not working out for her. It keeps turning that one direction, and it's not direction that it needs to be because she's on the outside of the track here. So she's got herself in a little bit of
she is trying to line up right now, Bari, for the backflip. Here goes Cynthia Gauthier, skies it and lands it almost, and trying to save it. Off the side of the backflip ramp, just ran out of room. But what a great backflip for her. Even if she didn't land it, look at the score. Anaheim loves Cynthia Gauthier.
Wow, what a great wow factor to end her freestyle. Into first place she goes.
That run will be enough for Cynthia Gauthier to dethrone Brodozer's Heavy D from first place as we take a look at the BKT Top 5 Freestyle leaderboard. And just moments ago, Casey caught up with Heavy D about dropping out of the top spot here tonight in Anaheim.
Look, Cynthia Gauthier is no joke. That girl goes out there and does stuff that none of us guys will do, like at All-Star Challenge when she jumped the entire field. The girl's insane. I love watching her run, and she earned that. So that was good. I feel good about that.
That's what it's all about. While the competition is fierce here in Monster Jam, so is the admiration between drivers. And a fan favorite for sure is the man piloting the black and green wrecking machine, Morgan Kane in Gravedigger.
And Morgan is one of those guys that's just good at anything he does. I mean, he's a former soccer star in college, and now he's behind the wheel of the world-famous Gravedigger, and he's going to bring it just like every other team Gravedigger driver does. He's up to the challenge at any given moment.
Soccer star at Campbell University, now a World Finals racing champion, went all the way to the finals and won in 2016. Best friends with Ryan Anderson and son of a digger, and he has that Gravedigger mentality like Adam Anderson, like Ryan Anderson, where he's going to run the truck into the ground. When the light goes red, that doesn't mean necessarily that Morgan Kane is done.
No, I mean, he can give you every aspect of freestyle that you want. He can give you technical, he can give you carnage, he can give you big air just like we just saw in that last jump. He's got it drifting, he's got it going on right now. Man, I can't wait to see how this ends up. So far, really good.
Morgan Kane's coming off back-to-back event championship wins at the Dome at America's Center in St. Louis. He won freestyle there on Saturday night, trying to get another one here. 3 event wins in a row would really cement his 2020 as an incredible season, maybe the best in Monster Jam.
And as you can see, a donut he gets put into his freestyle. That's something you don't really see very often. Right into another move, so he's just moving around effortlessly. Move to move is very seamless. Morgan's got it going on tonight here in Anaheim for sure.
And I made no secret, Anaheim, Angel Stadium, one of my favorite baseball stadiums in Monster Jam. As we see Morgan Kane now having some difficulty here in Gravedigger, but the complications these trucks have and these drivers and crew chiefs have is there is no pit area here. It's all the way out in the parking lot, so a lot of time has to go into this. Morgan Kane not done. Gravedigger with some nice air.
Right, and usually that'll disrupt your momentum, but it looks like Morgan is still okay. Doesn't look like he was affected by that shutdown.
And he is going to try to line up the backflip. He skies it, corkscrewing it off the backflip, landing on the left side. So a successful backflip for Gravedigger. That could be the exclamation point on the freestyle run of the night, and he is going to stop. But what a run for Morgan Kane and Gravedigger.
Oh, man, that was great. Oh, second place, just narrowly missing the top spot there.
A great run for sure, but not enough to overtake the lead from Cynthia Gauthier. It'll bump Heavy D down to 3rd place. Right now, let's take a look at the Monster Energy action of the week. A guy you know very well, Tyler Menninga in Kansas City.
I love watching Tyler Menninga behind the wheel of Gravedigger. I mean, he gets greedy is what I like to tell him. He just never settles for that. He wants one extra move. And, you know, it's like if the backflip wasn't enough, he gives you a little one-wheel save, little dance on 2 tires, and sets her back down.
So another phenomenal night for Tyler Menninga with the Monster Energy action of the week. We are down to our final 2 competitors here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, as we look to crown the overall event champion at this Stadium Championship Series Green event. Both Neil Elliott and Ryan Anderson can win the championship with at least a 3rd place finish here in freestyle. We both know that is very possible for both competitors. And here is 2-time World Finals champion Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger.
Now, I call Ryan Anderson the blueprint. I mean, he was born and bred to drive a Monster Jam truck. His father, Dennis Anderson, of course, the icon, and he takes right after his dad. It's just amazing what they're capable of doing behind the wheel of these Monster Jam trucks.
Coming off a freestyle win Sunday in St. Louis, trying to make it 2 in a row here. Ryan Anderson, one of the best of all time, I'd have to say. He's developed his own legacy, especially when it comes to freestyle. He does have a Racing World Finals championship as well, but in freestyle, when you talk about the best names in the business, Ryan Anderson has to be right there at the top of the list.
Absolutely. I mean, he really cleaned our clock when it came to the All-Star Challenge in Vegas earlier, so it's definitely something that he prides himself on, is, you know, taking control of what he has to offer, and that's a great freestyle performance on the track here in Anaheim.
Son of a Digger now elevating over the freestyle pad, spinning it back around past Max D. So Neil Elliott watching and waiting, still with a chance to win this thing as well. Ryan Anderson, some big air, clearing the entire pad. We don't get to see that a lot, but we see it a lot from Son of a Digger. He gets that extra elevation, that extra length to his jumps. He knows exactly when to hit the throttle, when to hit the brake. He is a textbook of Monster Jam driving.
He drives just with so much confidence, maybe more confidence than anybody I know, and just to be able to put that truck exactly where he wants to put it at any given moment.
And he is putting it right here on the backflip ramp, Barry. He skies it, perfect landing, gets a little bit of a reverse nose wheelie backing it up. So what a run there by Ryan Anderson, but he's not going to fill the clock. Doesn't necessarily matter. He gets what he needs. So not able to take the lead from Cynthia Gauthier, but a 100th of a point was the difference there. And with that, he has bumped Morgan out of contention for tonight's championship. And the pressure is all on Neil Elliott in Max D. And he's got to unleash his monstrous beast and must beat Ryan's 2nd place finish to now win the overall event championship.
Oh, the pressure is on, and Neil Elliott lives for these moments. You know, if there's anybody that is up to the challenge, it's definitely Neil Elliott behind the wheel of Max D. He's another one of these drivers that just makes it look effortless behind the wheel.
Neil Elliott looking for his first freestyle win of the 2020 season. A lot in front of him right now as the pressure is on his shoulders. He doesn't feel it. He and Ryan have a great rivalry, but of course Cynthia Gauthier is right there as well. Neil Elliott looking to get it done here tonight in Anaheim. Swinging it back around. Here comes Max D, the most decorated truck in World Finals history. Neil Elliott, one of the most accomplished drivers, Barry, to never win a World Championship, and he tries to make the save and he nails it.
Yes, and that's the thing, a save right there that can bring the crowd alive, and you've got them in the palm of your hand at that moment, so now he's just got to ride on and capitalize off that and see what he can build from there.
And you got to believe his time for a world championship has to be coming. Each and every year, he is so close, so close, and so close. So at some point, I think Neil Elliott will be a world champion. But the question is tonight, can he be the overall event champion? Some big air, Sky, and Max D across this track in Anaheim, California.
He's putting it together, though. He's got all the ingredients that form a great freestyle. At some point, you've got to think he's got to go for that Monster Energy backflip to be able to compete with everybody that's done it so far.
You know, the second's ticking away on the clock. You need that wow moment here for Neil Elliott and Max D in order to be able to win this competition. He doesn't need to finish first in freestyle, but he does need to knock Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger down as we see another great jump from Max D. So now you talk about that wow moment, and he is heading now to the other side of the track, and he is going to line up for the backflip ramp. So slowing it down, got to get the angle right. Here goes Neil Elliott and Max D, Sky, and he gets sideways, landing on the right side, but he gets the backflip. Now you have to make that wow moment. Here comes the jump, and Sky Wheelie again for Neil Elliott.
Awesome, but as you can see, that backflip must have caused the Heim joint to break on the upper forelink bar in the rear, and that's causing that rear end to shift around back and forth. Oh, whoa. Oh no.
And the flames have engulfed Max D. Neil Elliott, of course, okay, as he's getting out of the truck. And Bari, there you see the score, 9.258. Not enough to dethrone Cynthia Gauthier, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. She will win freestyle. It is enough to win Neil Elliott and Max D the event championship. As we take a look at the original Super Glue glued to the action replay, why did Max D catch on fire?
I think with that rear end housing shifting around, it might have pulled a hydraulic line apart, and that hydraulic fluid dripped on that hot brake rotor and it just ignited.
Anaheim continues to be a great town for Cynthia Gauthier, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, another freestyle win at Angel Stadium. Right now, let's go down to Casey Gagliardi with our freestyle winner.
She's claimed her first freestyle competition win of 2020, and for the second year in a row, she claims the freestyle competition win here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. You gotta be feeling like you're on cloud 9 right now.
I am. I mean, there's something special about Anaheim. I think Neil really deserved that freestyle victory, but you know what? I have to thank my crew guy, Scott. I mean, he worked so hard to make sure that truck make the best run, and you guys are just so amazing. Each of you, thank you guys so much.
Congratulations, Cynthia, on another big freestyle win here at Anaheim. Now, Neil Elliott's second place finish in freestyle allowed him to tie Ryan Anderson with 39 overall event points. But Bari, as we have learned all too well this year, the tiebreaker does go to the driver with the higher freestyle finish.
I mean, tonight was so action-packed. If we can go through all that Monster Jam and still end up with 2 drivers with tied scores, I think the fans are the real winners too.
Monster Jam's Ali Krings is with her overall event champion, Max D's Neil Elliott.
Neil, you're taking home your first overall event championship for 2020.
Man, it's awesome, you know, and it's thanks to the Monster Jam fans getting online, doing the app thing, doing the scoring. You know, that's how I got this win. Great crew guys back here keeping that truck together. But we're just out here having fun. Finally got this first overall event championship, and now we're just hunting for that one freestyle win this year.
Fans, go ahead and give it up one more time for your overall event champion, Neil Elliott, Max D.
Then the hunt continues, and that's going to do it for us here in Anaheim, California. Max D and Son of a Digger traded wins throughout the night, but it was Neil Elliott who takes home the overall event championship. For Bari Musauer, Ali Krings, and Casey Gagliardi, I'm Scott Jordan. Thank you for watching Monster Jam.